take of 53.
I wish I hadn't have had a few drinks last night, Tom.
Samesies.
I feel like starting a company, you just have to have an unrealistic belief that you want to do it. Things wouldn't start unless you just had you didn't care about failure and you didn't care about the rules. You just get into it. That's, to me, is how this started, is that we just had a belief in what we wanted to do that was bigger than all the reasons not to, and we stuck with it. We kept getting out of bed every morning. Well, you were late a lot, but
I was trying to get to bed every morning.
We're in the basement on Carmine Street. You had to walk down the back of a bookstore, down some steps, through a rat-infested, dusty, what in Australia you'd call back shed, but basically superintendent's storeroom of stuff that was underground. It had one little window, I think, which I'd rented as an office. And Tom, you were working on Not Awesome zine. I was thinking about this idea of a media brand called Convicts. Pete Baston had a desk. Jay O'Neill had a desk in there. And I'd started getting Pete's wheels turning on it. You went back to Australia, and I had no money. My wife Bugs bought us flights. We came to see you in Noosa, having a swim, and I said, "Hey Tom, do you want to come help me with Convicts?"
I was like, "Nah." Yeah. I said, "Not if it's going to be a magazine, because those things are fucked."
It has to be digital and video first, so that kind of lines up with my credentials and credibility, but not so much yours. So what are we going to do?
I was like a full Nowness fanboy too, so I was like, it's got to be like this. This is I feel like I've always been a professional copycat, which has served us for 9 years. Haven't got a cease and desist yet.
That you know of.
Yeah, that I know of. It's the strengths and the weaknesses, and sort of balancing those things out is like the exact foundation that needs to happen. I studied photography and understood film, but I didn't know jack shit about doing it. We're in production. Of course I hide in the toilet. You just start and you sort of do, even in the first 4 years, I think you knew this, my skill level, or maybe our collective skill level, was kind of my vision for everything was always let down a little bit by the product, because we just didn't really know what we were doing. And I was always like, fuck, I thought this was going to be cinematic. And it's fucking, it's crap.
I feel like you need to give yourself a bit more credit. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, obviously I was more in over the business stuff early on, but giving you credit, you really wanting to make stuff look good and premium, and the brand show up, visually in a certain way. And then probably my experience in New York and the access to some, people and opportunities as a business and with brands eventually. But it was the combination that worked really well. And I feel like there was just heaps of respect from both of us. I have as much fun doing it today as I did in those first few months. It's always stressful and always fun.
Yeah. I'm just really glad that there's slightly less hangovers these days. Yeah. Slightly. Because those days, disgusting. They were, again, I mean, the other testament, and look, I think you and I were in a different scenario. You were proposing to Bugs and then obviously getting married and doing all of that jazz. I was 100% single. and obviously, one of our closest friends, Ronnie Flynn, was running one of the funnest, most dangerous speakeasy bars in New York City.
Are we talking about Up and Down or Flower Shop?
Never. And then obviously Barron and his little cohort. We were not short of temptation. And when I say temptation, diving straight into temptation for me. But like, you know, the fact that we kind of like we started a business at that time with the people that were, you know, around us, I think was pretty cool. Again, you know, I would never want to go back and do
That's the thing, you
sort of
wouldn't do it again. I just don't. I think like if you have hindsight on, that'd be like the lesson here. Like, don't have hindsight, or you won't do it. If you've got the passion to do it at the time, do it right then and there. Like, hit record, like call the person, ask if you can get the time. There's too many reasons that things don't work. And the other thing I think that we've stuck with is we've had, you know, roller coasters of good times and hard times, and, you know, really difficult financial times, even pandemic. And we've never ever given up. Troublemakers for a Better World may have been the most important bit of copy that has helped the business. Voicing culture first. So like, and the articulation of Troublemakers for a Better World, what that means. It's just been like the arrowhead for us in every client meeting, in every time we show up. It's kind of led the way. And I'm sure it will evolve. You know, like, what does trouble mean? What's a better world look like are always going to be subjective to who's on the team and what we care about and what brands we're working with. But that essence and that voicing culture, and us being not just like a service business, but being a voicing culture and caring about what we say, like, that's not performative. I think it's real, and it's what drives us. It's still certainly what drives me, is living up to that. And I think that's what has been our biggest calling card for the success of the business, is sticking to that and keeping that alive, and not just being another agency that makes good work, because there's tons of them, and it's awesome. It's great that lots of people make good work, but what makes us different and unique is just our perspective on the world, and making sure we keep that alive.
You know, troublemakers, that's the part that go out there and be cheeky, go out there and try shit, go fuck shit up, go experiment, go fail, go learn. You just be adventurous. Like, that's kind of the trouble. And then making sure that in that path, in that sort of like trajectory, don't hurt people, don't upset people, have a conscience when you're doing this. Make sure that you're channeling a lot of that experimentation and education into something that isn't just benefiting you or benefiting your ego, but it's actually kind of benefiting 5 people, if not 1,000, if not 100,000, if not millions.
I don't think it happens all the time. I think that's the most important thing to keep alive, is like that culture internally with us. Like, we've got Cam and Sharky that have been with us pretty much since day one. Them being in one of our offices or on any one of our shoots, the same way, you know, that everyone on the team now they just know that like that vibe that is important. There's a way we look after each other and act around each other on set that just is probably why we're still here as well, because it is still fun, you know.
It's pretty intimate. Like, you know, we're not a big company. We've never been that big. We've been bigger than what we are right now, but like, we coexist with clients a lot. But our freelance community is like, you know, when we bring people in to sort of work with us and stuff, like, that's also like always a big prerequisite. You know, is this time going to be enjoyable? Our small team works really well and has the best kind of synergy. And then somehow we bring that into every other facet of the company. I feel like it's infectious. I feel like and especially when you can be cheeky, because I know that, like, when I get on a call with somebody who I feel like I can kind of like, I can let it go a little bit. I don't have to be on my best behavior, not to sort of say you can't, but it's like, that's kind of probably the Australian in us for sure. But also just like, I feel like it's the infectious charm that kind of Convicts has always had, is that like, we can work harder than anyone, and then we really love just a frosty at the end of it with the clients or the meeting. And like
keeps the laughs during the day.
Yeah, but that's like we talk about purpose, that troublemakers for a better world, and I think that that's awesome, but it's what's just as important as the culture we have inside of our company and that spills out into the masses and into our community. And that's kind of the special sauce. That's the kind of juice that's worth the squeeze, is to make sure that our culture remains as awesome as when it started, as it is 10 years in. Nothing has clouded our appreciation for the people that come in every day and give us, their time. We obviously pay them, but we pay them for that juice. But it's all worth, the squeeze in the end, because like it makes our days better, it makes their days better, and it makes working enjoyable.